Salvete discipuli. So in this video, I'm going to turn this off. Didn't realize this was on. There we go. In this video, we are going to be discussing predicate nominatives and the verb sum. And so I want to start with this sentence: Christus est filius Dei. And when you look at the sentence, and when we translate sentences, I always ask you to find the subject and the verb first, because those are kind of like the backbone of the sentence, and then we can flesh everything off from there. So Christus est filius Dei. So if we look at the sentence and we try to find the subject, we're looking for something in the nominative. You look at these words and you say, okay, these look like second declension masculine words, but it looks like I see two words with us. Which one is the subject? And then if you take a step back at this sentence and then you kind of just look at what it means, Christ is Son, and then Dei, that could mean God's or it can mean of God. And well, obviously, common sense tells you that that means Christ is the Son of God. Does it really matter which one is the subject? Could we say the Son of God is Christ? Yeah, we could say the Son of God is Christ, just as well as we could say Christ is the Son of God. So typically what we do is we call the first one, which is in the nominative, the subject. So Christ is the subject. Christ is the one that is. And what we call filius is the predicate nominative. Sometimes in a sentence, there can be more than one word in the nominative. And the reason for that is this verb est kind of functions as an equal sign. And along with it, the word sunt often functions as an equal sign. I'll give you an example. If in the sentence naute, amicae Mariae sunt. The sailors are something, and this are kind of functions as an equal sign. And the naute are in the nominative case. And if they are, well, the sailors aren't Marys. So Mariae doesn't mean Marys, it means of Mary. The sailors are friends, right? And this is also in the nominative. It's in the nominative plural. And why? Because the sailors are the friends. The friends are the sailors. They're equal. And so when we see this est or this sunt or really other verbs that belong to the verb to be, we're going to consider those equal signs, and we're gonna keep them both in the nominative. All right, and this is a genitive. This means the sailors are the friends of Mary. Okay, let's take a look at what other verbs function as an equal sign. Okay, so in your book, Christus est filius Dei, Christ is the Son of God. Now, we don't do a whole lot of sentence diagramming, even though the book will discuss it, but if you do, Christ is the Son, right? Well, they're both in the nominative, and filius is the predicate nominative. It's that extra nominative, in other words. And typically we diagram them with lines standing straight up and down like this. But if you have a predicate nominative, we're going to slash it back towards the true subject of our sentence, because it's like pointing back at, oh, this is nominative because this is nominative and this is the same thing as this. So hopefully that makes sense. And then the of God is coming off from the Son. It's not like Son is the Christ of God, right? If we were saying that, then the of God would go under Christ. But it's the Son of God. So the of God, the Dei, is going under filius. And so that would be how we diagram that sentence. Okay, let's look at some of the other verbs that function as an equal sign. Learn the following forms of the verb I am and their meanings. So sum means I am, es means you are, when you're talking to just one person. Est means he is, she is, or it is. It's also the verb that you would use if you named the person and said somebody is. Marcus is. You'd say Marcus est. Sumus means we are. Use it if you're talking about yourself and any number of other people. Estis means you, plural, are. You guys are. Y'all are. And then sunt, we have been using est and sunt, but sunt means they are. Or if you name multiple people and you want to say those people are Marcus et Julius, right? Marcus and Julius. Marcus et Julius sunt, whatever. And if Marcus and Julius are in the nominative, when you say that, Marcus et Julius sunt, whatever it is that they are, that word's going to be in the nominative as well, because, again, each of these words functions as kind of an equal sign. So let's do a couple of translations from exercise 24, okay? The first one we'll do just verbally, and then I'll write out a couple of the other ones. The first one, estis filii Dei. These are the words of Christ to his disciples. The estis is something that we recognize from up here. So estis means you guys are. So he's talking to his disciples. That's why he's using the word estis. Right? Estis filii, you are the sons. And what is our subject? Our subject is actually wrapped up in our verb here. It's actually you guys. You guys is the subject, or you all is the subject. So the subject is wrapped up in the verb, because when we have these verbs, there is a word for I, it's ego, but you don't always need it, right? You could just say sum something, right? And that means I am. And the I would be the subject of the sentence, right? You could just say es amicus meus, right? You are my friend. Es amicus meus. And the subject is you, right? But then the friend would be the predicate nominative, because it's the thing that you are. And so friend would also be in the nominative if we said that. So he's saying estis filii. Filii is the predicate nominative here, because it's the thing that you guys are. And then Dei, of course, is just of God. So that's a genitive. All right, number 2, we're going to write it out. Christus est filius Mariae. Okay, so this is exercise 24, number 2. Christus est filius Mariae, period. So, again, we see 2 words in the nominative. This one is our subject, our true subject, and that's Christ. We're going to say Christ is. And Christ is what? He's the Son. Son is also in the nominative case, but it's the predicate nominative. It just means it's the thing that's following the is, or the thing that's following the equal sign. Christ is the Son of Mary. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do 4. I will write it. Christus. Oh, no, sorry. Writing the wrong one. Number 4 begins, Caelum est praemium Christianorum. So we have 2 nominatives again, although this time these nominatives come from the second declension neuter. So, well, it would be capital because it's at the beginning of the sentence either way. So we have to determine, is this referring to the Christian heaven or is it referring to the sky? I know what the rest of the sentence says, so I believe it's referring to Christian heaven. So we'll say heaven is Premium. And remember, if we don't remember what a word means, what we would need to do is go back to where we found it. And sometimes it can take a few page turns. Premium is the reward. So heaven is the reward. Again, both are in the nominative of. Now, Christianorum is a genitive, but it's a genitive plural, so of Christians. We don't want to say of the Christian. We want to say of Christians, or we could say of the Christians. We just have to make sure that it's pluralized. And let's do 13. Roma non est in Gallia. In Gallia. Okay, this time I only see one nominative, and so that's easy. It's Rome. Non est means isn't. And then here we have an ablative. And we use the ablative to talk about, anytime we say in something, and we know the ablative because of the macron. So in, and then in English we call Gallia Gaul. Although if you just rewrote Gallia, or if you even said France, because this is referring to roughly the area that we call France today, that would be correct as well. I think the preferred answer here would be to write Gaul, because that is the English way to refer to that land back at that time. So Rome isn't in Gaul. So this sentence is just included there because it has the word est in it. So it is part of that verb sum. But it doesn't have a predicate nominative. All right, there you go. The rest of exercise 24 will likely be assigned at some point to you. All right, take care.